Hi there, this is Dr. Paulette Sherman coming to you from Ask Dr. Paulette. So today I'm going to answer a question, which is, how do I make Valentine's Day meaningful as a single person? Because often I dread it and feel lonely and feel as though I just want the day to pass. First of all, this is a very normal feeling, and I think a lot of single people feel this way, so I think it's an important question to address. So if we think about what is known about Saint Valentine and Valentine's Day, experts sort of disagree on exactly what happened, but they believe that Valentine was a former bishop, and he really believed in Jesus and the sanctity of love. And at the time, there was an emperor that said that no couples were able to get married because he felt that soldiers would fight better if they didn't have marriage and children and wives at home. They would really focus. So Saint Valentine, at the time, Valentine did not agree with this edict, and so he secretly married off couples. And at the time, bishops would wear, they say, a round purple ring, and so he had his engraved with a cupid, so that people would know, oh, he's the one who secretly does marriages. Unfortunately, he was discovered in doing this, and he got thrown into jail and was tortured. And at the time, the person who was supposed to be judging him asked him to renounce his faith, and Valentine refused to do so, and he stayed very steadfast in his beliefs. And at the time, the judge reportedly had a daughter who was blind, and he said to Valentine, well, if it's really true, you have such belief in love and Jesus, then why don't you heal my daughter? And some say that Valentine put his hands over the eyes of the judge's daughter and restored her sight. Then he was subsequently in jail and was supposed to be killed on February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. And some say that he had fallen in love with the judge's daughter, and he sent her a secret letter, and at the end of the letter it said, signed, your Valentine, which may be why we, on the day of love of Valentine's Day, we send Valentines. So it's a very nice story, and it is a day of love. However, how did it just become associated with romantic love and marriages? That is a really good question, because in my mind, there are so many different types of love. And I'm just going to cover a few here, but we could go all day, right? The love of nature, the love of books, the love of so many things in life and in the world. But for today, I'm just going to mention a few, which is the love of ourselves, which is so important. It's the foundation of everything that we create in life. The love of our families, without whom we would not even be here, and who are with us no matter what, through thick and through thin. The love of our friends, who are like family. The love of our community and of the world. The love of spirit, like Saint Valentine really represented that. The love that is never ending and through multiple lifetimes, and that is completely unconditional and a higher love. So these are just a few types of love that I'm mentioning today. And what are some realistic ways that we can honor and celebrate the themes in Saint Valentine's Day story? Well, we talked about his faith and his ability to give love even in the face of fear, and also to be selfless to others. So, one thing that you can do, if you're single or otherwise, no matter what your situation, is to say, how can I be selflessly loving today? On this day, maybe I can go to a soup kitchen. Last year, I have 2 kids, and so my husband and I lived maybe 5 or 6 blocks from a nursing home. So we had our kids make homemade Valentines, and it just took like an hour. We went down there. We didn't even really plan ahead, and we were able to contact, luckily, the program coordinator who came down in the elevator and took us up to one of the floors, and all the elderly people there were sitting around. They were having like a music class and singing for Valentine's Day or something. It was very cute. And our kids took their homemade Valentines, I think they made 20 of them, and went and gave each person one. And you should have seen the looks on those people's faces. I mean, not only were they in love with having children there, but just that these kids had taken the time to each make them a personalized Valentine. It meant so much. So that's one little idea. It just took an hour, but you can figure out something. You could volunteer that day and make someone else's day or year, and that would be a day of love. Another idea is to do something for yourself. Go get a special massage. Buy yourself flowers. Research says that 14% of women buy themselves flowers on Valentine's Day. Let's up that number, and for men too, because we should get ourselves flowers any day of the year, but certainly on Valentine's Day is a good reminder. A lot of us love our pets. They're like our true companions. And I think it said that the research shows that 1 out of 5 Americans buy their pets a present on Valentine's Day. So that's another idea. Snuggle up with your pet. Also family. Write them letters telling them how much they mean to you and stories about ways that they've been there for you and reasons why you love them. Another great one that has become popular in the past few years is called a Galentine's Day. What is a Galentine's Day? Well, that's where you get together with all your girlfriends, who might be single too, and you love each other up. You can get foot rubs, you can go get mani-pedis, you can watch some movies, you can just have a tea party since it's freezing out. But really appreciate your friends, who are your tribe, and who are always there for you no matter what. And lastly, let's think about St. Valentine and the love of spirit. How can we celebrate our love of spirit, which continues hopefully with us in our hearts and souls throughout time? You can go to church and light a candle. You can create a sacred space yourself, whether it's by an altar, whether it's through prayer or meditation. I like to take sacred baths, and I wrote a book called The Book of Sacred Baths that has all these different bath rituals you can do. So you can even do one for Valentine's Day and put in rose petals, which will be great self-care for yourself and a way to connect with spirit. So you figure out your own ritual to connect with spirit, but that's a really important one as well. Please remember that there are so many different kinds of love in the world, and you can honor them on this day of love, and you can also share your love with others and change their life. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. I hope it's a great one.